Forte.
I love talking about player IDs, man. So interesting to see what kind of person picks what ID for themselves.
Yeah, like Hope Torture. That was a great one.
That was... Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Hope Torture, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have the 2 Hellion, 1 Reaper push here. Going to be applying a little bit of pressure.
Little pokey poke on that third base. This time we do have the Roach Warren popping up this time. So like this is just for safety's sake. Roach Warren will basically save you from anything Terran will do.
As the game continues onward, we're going to see the 3rd orbital finish up here. Stim getting close to about halfway done. And these guys are both, paying a little bit of respect to each other, playing more of a passive game. I think definitely after game number 1, Forte has gotten the confidence boost of a lifetime.
Yeah, that's an important first win for him, I think.
That's important for this entire group, by the way.
Yeah, he played very well and everything. What would be very interesting is...
Oh, nice surround there.
If he actually ends up beating Curious in this series, that can really upset the whole dynamic of the group, because that's the one match I'm afraid for Stork on. Like, if he happens to fall to Cure, which is totally possible, and he hits Curious, I'm like, ooh, that's tough.
Yeah, Stork, he got here with his solid PVT, so if Forte moves on and Stork beats Cure, I would say 100% Stork's going to beat...
you would think so.
Yeah, I mean...
You generally
think
consider Cure to be
Forte.
better than Forte.
Right. But, times are changing. We are going to, over the course of time, see a lot of new players come up and shine here. And, who knows? Forte might be that guy. We might be talking down in this cast about him here, and then he might win this whole thing. I mean, we don't know. There's been crazy stuff that's happened. Remember Deer, guys?
Yeah.
Remember that we were literally on a commercial break, and it was around at 32, and I turned to Artosis and made this joke. I said, what if Deer actually won this whole thing? Wouldn't that be hilarious? And you were laughing, and then he did, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And now he's like this Protoss that we all have to respect.
Absolutely the case there. And I mean, Forte is one of these guys that has a lot of promise right now. Used to be known as Salvation, and he was like okay-ish. We saw him every now and then in like a Pro League game or something, but never really made anything happen. Obviously, this is his first Code S, so that kind of goes to speak of what his skill was at. But just overall, everywhere I've seen him recently, he's had good results. He's been playing well overall. He's definitely not someone I'm looking at like, okay, this guy actually, I feel like could make waves this season, but today is going to tell us a lot more about him.
Yeah, let's see. Now we have a small push coming out here for Forte. This is generally used to start to clean up the creep. Zerk doesn't normally, at this point in time in the game, have enough to actually fight this.
And he does have a few roaches here in the front. One is actually going to finish up here for Forte. He's stimming in and actually picking off a Ravager.
I was like, is he going to win that whole fight? He's like really confident with that. Oh, nice. Now dropping over here on these queens.
That's a nice move. And he will get like one, right?
Yeah, for sure he gets that one, right?
Ooh,
no.
Just barely not, perhaps.
Oh, meanwhile, Hellion's over here doing some damage to these drones. Yeah, doesn't seem like he's able to decide which drone he wants to hit. A scan here does clean up those creep tumors, and that is really the mission for Terran whenever they do that push. That's why I was a bit surprised when he was actually attacking there. I think he gunned down 2 Ravagers during that. Is that correct?
He definitely got one. I think it was only one, but I could be wrong there. Now, look what Curious is going for here. He's actually adding a lot of Lings right now, way more than I thought that we would end up seeing, but he's going up to Hive and grabbing Pathogen Glands. So this is a style I really like to see out of Zergs right now. Go for Roach Ravager with those upgrades, switch into melee upgrades afterwards, and have like 3 to 4 Infestors so you can really punish Terran with your Corrosive Biles.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, with that, you should be able to hold on with a 4th base being taken until Ultras. But that's where the point of contention is. Can you actually get in those Ultras without having taken a bunch of damage?
To go off what you were saying, Artosis, something important to note with that is when, especially if they have like the Infestors and that whole combination with the Ravagers there, in that's where Terran can lose.
Oh! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Forte wasn't looking. He actually put down Corrosive Biles where it was going to go, and he killed it with it. I haven't seen that yet in a top-level pro game.
Yeah.
Fantastically done by
I guess
Curious.
it's an inevitability, right? I mean, people probably weren't watching for it as much when it didn't happen anywhere. Nicely done. Yeah, that was kind of funny. It just went right into it. But yeah, to what I was saying before, yeah, if they do get these infestors out and get the fungals and then the corrosive biles connecting with that, Terran can lose the entire army without Zerg being touched.
Yeah.
And that's a really scary thing.
It really, truly is. And look at this game so far. It's a pretty good creep spread. It's not like the best, but it's reasonable. He's already in Hive Tech, going up to an Ultralisk Cavern. He's getting those melee upgrades, adding some infestors in here, and so far he's shut down all harassment. He's in very good shape economically speaking.
Okay, he does immediately take out that Widow Mine. A pickup here. Zerg just with too much control on the ground. This is the Curious we're used to casting here at GSL. And he's definitely flexing his muscle up against Forte.
Well, you know, this is he needs to win this game, so he's really turned it on. Now, Forte flying around, seeing if he can get some more drop harassment in. Definitely something you need to try to do against someone who goes to this comp.
He might have a second drop coming into the main here. I'm a bit confused by this. Normally we see drops in 2 different locations. We actually have the drop over here. It's not far at all. And this is not working here for Forte. I think Curious has actually become too strong here on the map.
Yeah, these drops are like, it's kind of diminishing returns right now. He does at home have a 4th base, or a 3rd base, sorry, but he doesn't really have the right type of army to deal with Ultras that are going to start being made very shortly here.
And he may just get, it might be one of these classic Zerg games where the Zerg is so strong that Terran, or we see this with Protoss as well, doesn't get to be on the map. They'd attempt with drops and kind of fail, and then the result of that is that they, when they finally do push out, they just get overwhelmed and die. That's when you know, anybody who's played StarCraft knows that feeling when you're against a good Zerg and you just can't get out of your base, you know? You just can't get anywhere.
Yeah.
And then you send like drops out and you lose that and you're like, why did I do that? You know?
Yeah, totally. I definitely have had that more than a few times in my life this morning. But yeah, I mean, this is looking really fantastic right now for Curious. He's about to have his chitinous plating. He's getting that adrenal upgrade as well, very close to being finished. Adding on the Spire, which is really, really good because eventually he's probably going to want some Corruptors. Just because a lot of times we're going to see Liberators added in to try to deal with the Ultras, but Ultras have been started.
Here we go. Stimming coming down now. Good angles for the Terran. Zerg does have to back off.
Not the best fungal growth right there. Definitely needs better ones than that.
And he doesn't have limitless fungal growth, so he's got to be very careful.
Yeah, Corrosive Biles going down on Widow Mines the second they burrow. Maybe not enough that time, but I love that the speed of that for Curious.
It's continuing to come up right now. Actually, another poor Corrosive Bile connecting only with 1 Marauder. Possibly the worst possible Corrosive Bile you could have, with the exception of just not hitting, or not Corrosive Bile, fungal you could have.
Yeah.
In a situation like that.
Well, look, he is clearing up the Widow Mines at least, but this is a strong army right now from Forte, continuing to push forward. Okay, that's a much better fungal, but not really in position to completely get on top of it. But hey, look at that. Another nice fungal does go down. Corrosive Biles raining from the sky as well.
Starting to limit the number of these medevacs. By the way, these medevacs not with a ton of energy left on them.
Yeah, there's 4 Ultras about to pop out as well. So this, like, he's held, and this is going to look better and better for Curious from here on out.
But Forte is not giving up. He's continuing to mass produce. And if he could just gun down that Ultra, that's pretty big. Does manage to take, no, he does not manage to take that out. Okay, there it goes.
Kind of a funny fungal right there.
Yeah.
Thinking that the units would run away, but they didn't. They were very, very brave. Did end up paying for it with their lives, though.
So he's going into Ling Ultra. It's very important he keeps the Lings and Ultras together. Ultras are not good without the combination of Lings with him.
And he still has the Ravagers in there, and it looks really great. He's even re-adding Infestors now that he's lost space.
He's actually kiting so well. He's taking out all the Lings, and then it's just the Ultras in the front. And as we can see here, they don't really do much, and losing those Ultras is pretty huge. And the problem when you're doing this is it's almost impossible to do anything else at your base.
Yeah.
Because you are microing so hard.
Yeah, like,
which might also explain the excess in minerals and gas during these fights.
Ooh, this is way too far. Like, I was okay with him chasing the little group, but the fact that he's poking in right this second when he has so many good units building, I feel like it's a little bit overkill, but he does have Lings actually rallying in right now. But now he's attacking into buildings and Liberators, you know, with these Ultras.
Now, I'm kind of scratching my head here. I feel like this should be an overextension, but I guess Zerg's kind of making it work.
Well, his army composition is just so strong right now, but this is like not what you normally want to actually do with Ultras, to attack into these small little crevices and whatnot.
Yeah, this is like...
He's still getting the damage done.
The worst enemy of the Ultra is a tight area where it can't move freely, especially if there's not enough Lings there. Okay, I think he actually is just going to overrun him because it's 160 as a supply to 88. Yeah, that's it. Wow, okay.
All right.
Furious repping the swarm there. Just overrunning that, Terran.
Yeah.
I got to say, Forte did a good job microing in the middle of the map, but it was not enough at the end.
His drops were just completely
subpar.
Yeah, they were wiped out every single time. Curious's defense was really solid. I think Curious chose the perfect strategy for the perfect spots. And, you know, Forte just, when he wasn't getting anything done and he saw that Curious was playing this comp right, like, sometimes you get Zergs that are like, okay, now I'm going to go poke a little bit, and then you drop them and they start taking damage or something. But Curious is sitting home saying, no, I will get to Ultras, and then I will be way ahead.
And kind of a funny spot here for Forte. Like how exactly do you play this now? Forte got an edge in there early on. Does Forte do some kind of cheese? Does he do the same build we saw in the last game? I'm not sure. I mean, that last build in Game 1, that was pretty good for that map that he was on. I'm not sure how effective it would be here on Sky Shield.
Yeah, Sky Shield is still, you know, a map that hasn't been played all that much, so...
Yeah, as a caster, this is the map I'm probably the least comfortable on when I cast. I'm not entirely sure. You know, we just haven't had a lot of...
we've seen even Rakshir more than Sky Shield so far.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're going to go ahead, and the countdown has begun, and it means business. Here we go.
That countdown means business for sure. In the bottom right, in the red, our Zerg player, a veteran of the GSL.
AfreecaTV, Curious.
In the upper left, in the blue.
MVP 치킨마, Forte.
If you were on a professional StarCraft 2 team,
Yeah.
it would be MVP Chicken Maru. I just want you to know. Me, I'd be on like Samsung or KT. You'd be on MVP Chicken Maru, though.
Oh, Toast is
just
my
like-
pride. Oh.
Hey, they're a good team. It's just, you know.
Oh, man. I'm so hurt. We're going on into this game. It's 1-1 right now. I do love our little GSL flag, by the way, on this map.
That's a nice one.
It's good to have little additions like that.
You should be able to set it on fire with Hellions, just like trees on some maps.
Yeah, we're like, you can't burn the GSL flag.
Like, get out
That's
of here.
against the rules. You get banned for that.
Yeah.
That GSL flag never touches the ground.
Dropping corrosive vials on it and stuff.
That's right.
Wouldn't that
We
be
make
cool?
sure that the winner has to fold the GSL flag into triangles and put it away.
So, how was your day off, Tasteless?
It was good, man. I kind of vegetated,
Yeah.
watched some movies, and then I went over to your house.
Really?
Said hi to you.
How was that?
Yeah, I broke into your house. And,
Yeah.
No, it was good.
Yeah.
Had a good dinner with you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me over. It was quite nice.
Yeah, it was pleasant. Played some Street Fighter. It was good times.
Well, we tried to, and except that it was so laggy when we
the
got
lag,
on.
yeah, the lag was pretty
I was
terrible.
like, am I playing a fighting game slideshow? I hope they get that fixed.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
But then again, when you get these big launches for titles, it's not uncommon for stuff to go wrong. So hopefully they get that
yeah,
made
especially
a little bit better.
Now, I guess it's Capcom making it, but we were playing on my PlayStation 4, and I got to tell you, on Christmas Day, I could not access anything in PlayStation.
Oh, I heard about that,
It
actually.
was just I'm like, you guys did not plan to sell a bunch of these for Christmas? Are you kidding me? Like, this is so bad. I can't even fathom.
It's hard, man, when
this.
these big launches come out, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we're at the point in time where consoles end as certain games, like Street Fighter, or, you know, I mean, StarCraft's another one, you know, the big game that comes out. Server can get overloaded, you know, there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong. Still sucks, though, when you're on the other receiving end of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if I was the server going wrong, I wouldn't care. But, you know, being on the other end of that and being the guy who has a new system and wants to play but cannot, that's pretty bad, right?
Yeah, that is rough. By the way, we have the Hellion push coming up here with the starport. Let's keep our eyes peeled and see if he goes for Medivacs or Liberators.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he gets a Viking in this case.
Look at how quick this layer is.
Yeah,
You think it's
that's
going to be like
interesting.
a two-base layer?
I think so. Now,
I mean, two-base layer. It is a two-base layer. I mean, a two-base Spire, or are we going for like a Nidus play?
That's what I assumed you were getting at. I don't think he goes for Nidus. I mean, he could, but I don't feel like this is necessary for Curious to do.
Yeah. I think he's going to go
We'll
for a
have to see, though.
two-base Stork. Like, just replace every word with Stork tonight.
Let's see, though. we're going to know pretty quickly if we see a Roach Warren plop down here. I guess it is going to be a Spire. It looks like he'll have exactly enough gas to get the Spire, and once he starts the Spire making, that's when he gets his other gases, right?
It's kind of interesting that that's the build that he wants to go for here. It's absolutely a doable build, though. And
yep, there it is.
But yeah, he's going to be able to pop out a bunch of lings. He's going to want to take that third base as soon as he is comfortable to. But having that quick Spire is going to be nice to defend, at least against the Liberators that are being made. But the fact, like, we've seen some Terrans nowadays grabbing a few Liberators just defensively against 2-base Mutas, and then the Mutas having a very hard time getting any damage in.
Okay, the Hellion drop's going to come right over here in the Fog of War area of the main here for Curious.
The Lings think you're going to the other side, and the Queens think they're coming in the front. No one thinks this, and oh my god, here come the Hellions.
All right, already 3 kills, and a nice pickup there, opting to not stay on the ground. He doesn't redrop that over here. And he wants to keep this alive for as long as possible. Now, obviously, for Zerg, it's easier to hold 2 bases than 3 from Hellion Harass. So I don't think he's going to be able to do too much more damage with that. Not to mention the Spire is about to start. He's going to have exactly 600 gas. So 6 Mutas, actually maybe even 7 here, about to be on the way.
Yeah, we actually do have a Liberator coming over. It doesn't have too much time to get damage in, so I think he's got to be very careful with it. Definitely a unit that, since he's made it on 2 bases, he wants to be very careful to keep, as it is good against Mutas as well.
Now, he should know that there's Mutas coming here.
Yeah, he saw the Spire.
Yeah, and beyond that, even if he didn't see the Spire, it's 2 bases, right?
Yeah.
And then Nidus was never made, so Mutas are coming.
Well, 8 Mutas are coming right now, and he's not really moving back with that Liberator. I am a little bit surprised, but I guess maybe... See, look at this. Curious is actually pretty darn smart. Doesn't even chase the Liberator. Instead, like, sniffs out what is going on with these Hellions.
Let's see if he can get some more drone kills. Meanwhile, the Liberator is going to go down due to the Mutas. And that's going to be it for the Terran Harass.
This has been very solid defense from Curious overall. Definitely should be happy with how his defense has gone. Now throwing down that Roach Warren and a couple Evolution Chambers. Only 1 Engineering Bay here for Forte and an Armory. Could be going into a Thor perhaps.
Yeah, a Thor would not be a bad call. This isn't like the popular build we see in Heart of the Swarm, but let's not Legacy of the Void. But let's see how he actually handles this, because I think a Thor might be the best answer. You're probably right. He could do a solid push out with that. Now, of course, when you do go for this Muta play, one thing that you have to be really careful about is that you got your other bases later, right? So you have to make these Mutas work. They have to do a lot of damage. They have to keep the Terran busy and back at home. Otherwise, you have basically failed in what you set out to do.
Well, so far, so good, I guess. You know, he's like forcing some stims out, poking here and there. Hasn't really damaged the economy. It's just something you really want to do. But, you know, Forte is sitting tight on 2 bases. So as long as Curious is ready for any counterattacks that do come out, then he's still going to be all right.
Okay, the Mutas are continuing to do damage here.
A lot of Roaches being made at home for Curious. Quite a few Hellions actually moving across the map, and that Armory is going to be used to make these Hellions into Hellbats so that he can complement this push. But with this many Roaches and Ravagers actually being made...
Yeah, this is going to be pretty scary. Let's see if he can actually hold this. By the way, Hellions coming up here. Does not look like they will be contested. However, they do not immediately go for the workers. A little bit of a loss there. We see that now being chased out into this corner. Mutas did attempt to come in there and do a little bit of damage.
Yeah, well, we'll see what they get done. Muta's actually flying back over the Marines a little bit. Going to catch a few of these. Roaches and Ravagers and Queens trying to hold everything off. The Hellbats coming in from the side.
And they're beginning to clean up all of this remain. Oh, man, actually, Forte's starting to break in here. The Roaches coming up. They need to be in front of the Ravagers. But this is so many Marines. If he keeps dodging these corrosive vials, I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, the Roaches continue to rally out. I think Curious is going to be able to hold and force it back. The Mutas come in from behind, going after these medevacs. And actually get some good damage.
Yeah. This is actually pretty crazy here. Nicely done. Now he's taking out some more of these Mutas. You do not want to lose too many Mutas when you're having that comp. They're not as important now as they were right when they came out.
Yeah.
But still, you want to have those units out, staying active, denying drops, the whole shebang.
Absolutely. But you know what? I really like where Curious is at. He's on 3 bases right now against just 2 bases from Forte. Forte's just continuing to macro up. You know, I think he's not even going to make another command center, probably just going to float one down eventually when it becomes that time. But with this many Roaches and Ravagers still being made, I think he's going to hold on against everything.
Yeah, I think you're right, Artosis. But, you know, especially with the supplies being up like this, Terran's continuing to push out, but there's no third base taken in this whole process. So that's something that's a little bit concerning. Especially when Terran's pushing and not getting a third base, it's easy for the Zerg, after they hold off the pushes, to counterattack and actually force the third base to lift.
Well, we do have a big drop coming over here to this third base. He's left up there, kill it clean. But look at this. They're actually starting to get a few of these drones right now. The big counterattack from Curious is going to be coming up, so he's going to need some real damage done with this.
Corrosive Vials coming down on those Liberators.
Yeah, he's actually taking a lot of Liberator damage right there.
He didn't quite get that first all those Corrosive Vial shots off initially, and that means Terran actually got that base.
Yeah.
I think Curious might have bungled this. All that Terran has to do is try to hold this off.
It looks like he will hold off the Terran attack back at his base. Can he actually break through here? Most of the SCVs have gone down, and it looks like Forte has to run all the way back to his main.
This was actually a shockingly close game. I think Curious might just have the kill here. He might just be able to KO him here.
Kind of looks like it. Not done quite yet, but definitely liking the situation of Curious. His army is just too strong. Like, we definitely have more mobility for Forte, and he's still trying to get damage done. But Curious just sitting on 2 bases with Roaches and Queens around means he's not going to take more damage. And Forte, how can he actually like force his way down here? He's going to have to be very careful with his Siege Tanks and Liberators.
Coming in here once again is Zerg. Corrosive Vials being shot out here. Connecting with that command center, putting it into the red. And it looks like he just barely manages to save that location. Had he not done that, this game would have ended. So both these guys taking serious blows. Zerg was knocked back onto 2 base, and Terran temporarily was knocked back onto 1.
Yeah, kind of crazy base trade scenario going down there.
It's difficult right now for Forte to know what the supplies are for his opponent, so he feels that it's probably a wise decision to try to push out here, maybe try to smash out his opponent's a third base that's being constructed here.
Well, this is a very important attack for Forte. This guy only has 16 SCVs. He's not even making anymore. He has got to get some damage done right now. We do have Curious remaking this third base. Roach is on the way. Does have that +2 range attack, as we see.
And he's beginning to come up now. I think there's just too much here for Curious. Corrosive Vials connecting or not. Even Corrosive Vials hitting some of Curious's units is okay.
Yeah, he's definitely got the much better army, but we do see right now Forte trying his hardest, lifting up those siege tanks. But, I mean, he just does not have enough, especially when you look at the type of production Curious is still putting out here.
Yeah, it's a problem. I think that he's going to get overrun here at his last base, but I have to say, Forte did a really good job. He put up a really good fight against his opponent.
Yeah, he did a good job. They, both of them doing 2 base builds here. Kind of crazy how close it actually became, but Curious with the right type of strategy, I would say, to be able to take this. But hey, I mean, he's actually down to just Ravagers now, which is not a good thing.
That tank micro back there just really doing the extra damage needed, and Forte just barely hangs on. And we're talking about Terran that's like under 50 supply here. Like, this is pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, too bad that siege tank can be lifted up and microed so heavily. I really wish that it just did more damage, guys.
There it is, GG. Curious wins our first set, but it was not easy. That means Curious goes on to the winner's match, Forte to the loser's match. Yeah. And I got to say, Forte, that was a great showing by him.
He played very well. It was some solid play. It doesn't seem like he's playing nervous or anything.
No, not at all.
This kid is just getting better and better. I don't know if he's going to make it out tonight. I think all 3 players are probably a little bit better than him. But that was some quality play. I can't complain too much about that, really. And you know me, I just want to complain about it.
I know you just want it. You want it so badly, Tosis, but you just can't that time around, man.
I just hate having good players all over the place, Oh.
Well, guys, that does it for our first match. We are going to take a short break, and when we come back, that game was Stork. Exciting stuff. Stay tuned.
Yo, it's Mr. V. It's yours. Yeah, and right now we want y'all to move back.
언제나 있는 그대로의 맑고 깨끗함을 지켜가라고. 겨울을 잊은 강물이 내게 말했다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성 사이다.
We are hope.
We are honor.
We are courage.
We are justice.
We are compassion.
We are determination.
We are harmony. We are Overwatch.
회의가 좀 늦게 끝나서.
아 그래요? 괜찮아요. 그냥 게임 몇 판 하면서 내려고 있을게요.
아씨 뭐 하는 거야, 아이고. 아 오라고 좀. 뭐 철 만들었나 부서지지도 않네.
치킨 먹고 갈래? 치킨만 먹고 가라. 한 번 맛보면 매니아가 된다. 치킨 매니아. 자네가 그 치킨 매니아인가?
웬열? 와, 움직임이 끝내주는데. 진짜 부드럽게 움직이네. 플렉스볼은 굴곡진 덕선에도 막힘이 없거든. 발음 조심하자. 나 덕선이라 그랬냐? 덕선에도 막힘이 없다고. 저게 면도기로 가능한 거네. 역시 대세답네. 대세가 뭐야? 전세 같은 거? 요새 애들 다 쓰지? 그게 대세야. 그래가지고 내가 저거 쓰잖아. 그래서 나도 저거 쓰잖아. 선우는 뭐 쓰지? 보라 누나한테 물어봐. 태기는 못 써. 덕선, 너 나한테 왜 그러냐? 덕선이는 아직도 좋아. 야, 마이콜은 못 쓰냐?
2,500만 명이 응답한 플렉스볼 아직도 안 써보셨나요? 질렛, 남자를 위한 최상의 선택.
K3에 지치지 않는 열정으로 Passion is my fuel. The new K3.
신제품 브라운 시리즈 3를 소개합니다. 몇 번의 움직임만으로도 빠른 밀착 면도와 최적의 피부 편안함을 선사합니다. 전에 없던 빠른 속도를 경험하라. 신제품 브라운 시리즈 3. Only from Brown.
땀, 타협하지 않기에 멈추지 않는다. 말이 아닌 땀으로 보여줄 것이다. 땀 흘리는 순간에 게토레이드.
항상 실패는 잊혀지기 마련입니다. 사람들이 기억하고 떠올리는 건 승리한 자손에 쥐어진 트로피뿐일지도 모르죠. 패배에 낙담을 하고 고개를 떨군 그 모습은 어떤 누구도 끝까지 기억하진 않을 겁니다. 하지만 패배를 두려워하지 않습니다. 포기하지 않습니다. 그들은 다시 한번 달려나가기 위해 노력합니다. 경쟁에서 이기고 환호하며 관중들에게 박수를 받는 그 짜릿한 순간을 항상 머릿속에 그리기 때문이죠. 그래서 오늘도 그들은 여기로 향합니다.
Hot 6 GSL Season 1 Codex. Hot 6 GSL Codex Group D. Curious, Porte, Star, Cure. Welcome to GSL. Hot 6 GSL Season 1 Codex.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the GSL Codex. We just finished Curious versus Forte. Curious with a comeback. Yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah. The next match, though, is one I'm very excited for. This is the player I'm most excited about this whole season is Stork.
Stork crushed Innovation to be here, and I think a result that nobody expected. We were just happy to pass the Stork game, right? Because he's so old school. Now he's here against Cure. Cure, a very formidable opponent. The question everybody's asking is, how far can Stork go?
Yeah, and most people thought he would not even make it into Code S.
Right.
You know, but you have to take into consideration just how legendary he is, which is much more than Innovation.
Yeah,
of course, one day Innovation may be similar legendary status as Stork, but be standing on Stork's shoulders. So, I mean, this guy, he has some real potential, Tasteless. Like, he's Stork. What do you want?
It's crazy to see this old school guy, now a coach, actually doing well. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the results are. But let me tell you something. Cure has no intention of letting Stork get any further in this tournament. He doesn't care who he's against. And Cure is somebody who's been, a very, very strong player for quite a while now. So definitely keep on the lookout for him as well. Those Stork games, they're out there. Cure has no doubt studied them through and through.
Yeah, no doubt, indeed. But it was a while ago, so we'll see if Stork is playing the same brand of PvT. I'm not so sure that he will play that style. I think that there's like tighter builds out right now that maybe are a little bit stronger. And when I look at this map set, Lilac Crest, I think, is a big question mark on exactly how Stork will play.
Yep.
But I think if Cure is absolutely ready on Orbital and Dusk for any early Dark Templar type play, then he's going to be in a good spot.
Yeah, let's see. Legacy of the Void, a lot more like Brood War, which is one of the reasons why Stork has played so well on it. We did see the Warp Prism with the Disruptor used, similar to the Shuttle Reaver combo, which obviously Stork had a lot of experience with back in the day. Let's see what he does now. You're right. Artosis, he may do a different build. He may play very similar to how we already saw.
Yeah. Well, Lilac, this is going to be a must-win for Cure, I would say.
The old versus the young. Stork against Cure. Game number 1 here at the GSL Codex. In the bottom right, in the blue, we have our Protoss player.
삼성 갤럭시 스타.
Zeratul gets choked up there trying to say
Yeah.
Stork's name.
He's just so sick.
Like, oh my god, this is the Protoss all that Zeratul looks up to.
In the upper left, in the red, his opponent.
진의 그린 윙스 큐.
Kerr. Everybody finished their burgers.
Looks like it, yeah. Did you get a burger?
No, it didn't happen.
No one brought you a burger?
No one brought. Did you get a burger?
Well, yeah, I did, and I threw it out. I threw it in the audience from up here, hit some guy in the back of the head. Are you going to look for a burger after this game, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Artosis actually brought food to work today, so.
Yeah.
But I might have to throw that in the trash and get that burger. I don't know, man. Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming down. And we're going to see a Nexus into Cybernetics Core. And it seems like, Cure on... well, so far, actually, he's going to go for one base.
Yeah, this is some very fast tech coming up.
We've seen this from Cure before, though. He's pretty good at this kind of play. So
yeah.
Let's see how well it does against Stork. I would personally not want a one base against a guy like Stork because I feel like he actually handles stuff like that pretty well. Stork's not. He never really was the player that, flubbed in the early game and lost.
Yeah,
this guy
is
known, guys, by the way, is having the best build orders in StarCraft.
Yeah.
This guy came up with builds that were just so good. Like, if you got a replay of his, it was like, finding gold, man.
What was his completely awkward nickname? It was something like the Chief Commander of No Mistakes, something like that?
Yeah, that was back before we had enough English commentary out here to start giving nicknames that made a little bit more sense. But I believe translated, that's what it was. But yeah, Stork, when you get somebody who basically doesn't make mistakes in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game, I would not recommend one basing against them.
Yeah,
they're just going to get ahead of you. Now, maybe Kira is going to make me eat my words, and if he does, good for him. But just seeing Stork play for so long, even in StarCraft 2, I'm not even just talking about Brood War. He didn't really screw up early and die.
Well, let's see what he goes for you. Okay, it's going to be a medevac. He has 2 Hellions out that are actually running around the map, so we don't really have vision of that for this Adept that's gone up. These 2 Hellions could cause quite a ruckus, Tasteless.
Certainly they could. The Hellions coming up here right now, and the Widowmines are about to go inside of that.
This is pretty painful already. Like,
yeah.
2 Hellions are actually, it takes Protoss a while to deal with 2 Hellions right off the bat.
Well, especially if you're using an Adept. I mean, it's just not a very fast unit. So, good play for the start here by Kira. Let's see how many kills he actually gets. So far, it's only been 4 probes, now 5.
Yep. Now, don't forget, Kira is on 1 base.
Oh.
And he's really trying his hardest right now not to use an overcharge. Okay, so 6 probes dead, but Kira only has 1 command center. So this is not, Stork fans don't worry too much, and actually Kira fans don't worry too much. He's still putting on the pressure here.
Yeah, because, and that's the reason why it's not as impactful as you were saying, is because he's on 1 command center. So it's not, and Protoss can still crank out probes quickly here and try to recover.
Yeah, now we do have a Liberator coming over, and we do actually have a Phoenix flying right up immediately.
Oh!
All right.
Big plays there, big plays. And he's going to activate that. That was a really nice hold.
And look at this. The Phoenix come over. 2 Phoenixes come over as well. And this, he is wrecking this aggression.
Okay. And that's what we were talking about. If you notice, even with Stork's control back there, he knew when to actually move the probes and when to let them be hit. So the Hellion Flames wouldn't optimize damage and get more workers. So really clean play there early on.
Now, we do actually have a Liberator flying down as the Hellions, or the Phoenixes go across the map. We'll see if he can actually get any damage done with that. The pylons are actually placed very, very well, and he does have energy for another Photon Overcharge. The Phoenix is going to do a little bit of harassment. That's really annoying, slowing down that command center that's already so slow. In the meantime, we do have a 3rd base coming up for Stork. Now, will Stork notice this? And he does! That's a big deal.
Yeah, big play there. And the Phoenix is going to be able to come over here.
Oh, man.
And I think he should be able to get this without any... Yeah, only 1 probe is actually picked up there. So,
and he's lucky that that thing was mining gas, because Stork would have told it to stay in there if there was such a command. He truly is the commander-in-chief of no mistakes.
Oh, man. I gotta say, like, really clean hold here by Stork.
Yeah. And look at how far ahead he's getting now. Has a vastly superior economy, has more supply, he has like great tech coming up. Like, the game is not over right now, but definitely Stork with a lead.
Yeah, very nicely played, and he's already taken his third base. The game is going to stagnate a little bit for Terran. The Terran doesn't have a lot of opportunities. There were a lot of technical units that were lost early on, and so momentum is going to lean back onto Protoss as he can start poking in over here with these Phoenixes.
And now, guys, tell your friends, this is actually like this is history being made. Stork, head coach, okay, of Samsung, which means he does a hell of a lot. It's not like he's an assistant coach. It's just like helping pro gamers refine builds only. Like, this guy has a lot of responsibilities, and here he is doing a very good job right now in Code S. Has a lead in game number 1.
Yeah, doing very well so far. Terran going to try to sneak a quick third expansion. He's got to be careful. Protoss identifies that. He can attack right into that and kill it. Also, well-placed observers. So he should be able to see these medevacs coming through here, and he will spot that right now.
Oh, we do have the Phoenixes coming down. He did spot it indeed. Turns around on a dime. The Adepts coming down as well. We do have the Mothership Core in the main base in case they go there.
He's going into the main now.
Yep, and that's a good call, but of course we do have that overcharge. We do have these Phoenixes, and everything should be able to get cleaned up relatively soon.
His army's been boxed in over here.
That was really sloppy. He just lost his Mothership Core.
Yeah. Well, he'll start remaking that in a second here.
Those Phoenixes have to be able to jump on those medevacs if they try to transport everything away.
Yeah, Protoss is in an awkward position. Okay, nice move there. Actually, should manage to get out now. Very tough play there for Terran, and he handled that very nicely.
Yeah, definitely a lesser Terran would have lost those medevacs.
Yeah, I was worried he was just going to get stuck there. Now he's going to spot the Warp Prism.
Ooh, good move by Cure.
Big plays there.
Yeah.
Takes out that Warp Prism, so the third base is going to be fine and able to set up.
That's a really big deal to take away the harassment potential of Stork over on that side of the map. If he wants to harass now, he has to remake a Warp Prism and then fly it all the way across there. Like, that is a huge deal to grab the first Warp Prism.
Yeah, no kidding. That might be the one big blunder for Stork in this game. Okay, he's placing Widow Mines around here. He wants to get a lot of the attention from... he's going to dive in right now, but he doesn't see the other Widow Mine, I don't believe.
Yeah, it looks like the Widow Mine did run, so...
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was still burrowed next to that.
All right, we do have Cure actually moving out with a lot of units. Photon Cannon actually goes down there to prevent exactly this, but this happens regardless.
No blink yet, by the way. So Terran still has free reign to try to hop around the map and do damage in every little corner.
Cure loading up a lot of medevacs, actually going to fly right over 2 observers with it. Definitely a big deal there that he's flying over these observers. Stork is really on top of staring at that mini-map.
Oh. Stemming and driving that back now.
Yeah, this is very Cure to load up that many medevacs for a drop. Like, he is one of the early Terrans to really play like that in Heart of the Swarm.
Ooh, nice splitting. Pulled the Adepts back over there.
All right, looks like, oh my God, that's a big deal.
Okay, I think Cure might be able to take this game. He's doing a really good job throughout this.
Yeah, to block the second Prism is a pretty big deal. I'm not giving it to anyone quite yet. I think it's still pretty close, but that hurts, man, to lose 2 Prisms right in a row, and that one had 4 Adepts.
Yeah, and Protoss, you know, granted, I think the defense has been pretty stellar here from Stork. He hasn't made a dent in anything Terran's doing on his side of the map. So the Cure really in Stork's face doing a very fantastic job. By the way, I believe we are going to have another drop coming in over here. Looks like at the natural.
That's a lot of medevacs.
I think it's 3 medevacs over there.
Yeah, he doesn't actually have his the rest of his units in position to poke at the same time. We'll see. Oh, that's so big.
Oh,
Stork is not going to see that to the last second.
That's actually 6 medevacs over there.
Oh, my God. This could be a huge amount of damage. Stork way out of position right now. The drop does come to the natural. Stork coming up as quickly as he possibly can, shading on top of everything here. Will force him out.
Yep, Terran picks up and leaves here. Only Widow Mines burrowed right now. We should have an observer come over there shortly.
Not nearly as bad as it could have been.
Right.
But that's a smart unload place right there. It looks like Stork doesn't actually have any vision of that occurring right now.
Okay, he's cleaned up those Widow Mines. Another drop over here at the top.
Ooh, actually picks up that pylon before Stork can throw down the overcharge. Starting to kill some of these probes here. Looks like he's going to go up to that main base now. This harassment is really starting to pick into Stork.
By the way, Blink is done now, so the Stalkers can come in here and try to assassinate the medevacs if they just get a good enough angle. Let's see if they do. There it is.
All right, well, he does get the medevacs. Definitely a big deal. We do have the other medevacs still sitting near that natural base. So we'll see if he actually does something. Looks like he's going to go for that Nexus, and it's naked. Should be able to get a cancel here.
He's coming up there right now.
Oh,
but the Adepts will be able to phase it over here.
That's a lot of
good
Adepts.
saves.
That's a lot of Adepts.
It's pretty scary. You run when you see that shading towards you. And we do have Disruptors coming out here. Now remember, this is not the same as role as we had in the other games against Innovation. He was using Disruptors as a harass unit. He's now using this to cement his bulk and have a lot more push potential and punish mistakes that Terran are having in the middle of the map. So overall, I mean, although Cure is playing very well, Stork actually doing a very good job too. This game pretty high level.
Yeah, this is really quality play out of both sides, to be honest. Like, we've definitely seen both of them fail at harassment a lot, but Kira has actually found some success now. So that's a good thing. He's really fought his way right back into this game. The supplies are very close. It seems like it's a pretty nice game, and we have Mass Liberators on the way against Stork, who's getting ready for a tech switch into Colossus.
Yeah, this is where Protoss really begins to finish up all of the tech that he needs. I suppose the only thing we have left is to get some Templars involved in this as well, but I'm sure we're going to get to that eventually. Terran continuing to upgrade. Thermal Lance about halfway done, and it's a pretty neck-and-neck game right now. A minor supply lead here for our Terran, but let's see how the actual battles go down.
All right, well, the Disruptor's not really going to find too much damage right there, but that's okay. Just forcing Cure back a little bit is good enough for now.
We might be reaching the climax here. Terran is going to try to stamp out the fourth base, and Protoss is going to have to defend it. And I think getting these liberation zones set up, I don't know how exactly he's able to hold this.
So many liberation zones. I can't imagine him being able to hold on here.
All right, let's see if he can get some good connections with the Disruptors.
That's a good connection right there.
If he thins that out, he can actually instead come down on top with the Stalkers underneath and just gun down the rest of those Liberators.
Yeah, I think there's still too much there at the moment. Maybe if he shades on top or something. But it looks like he's just going to run probes for now, deciding that it's better to give up this base than to lose his army.
Yeah, Paperweight Expo over here. Scanning still now. Protoss beginning to catch up here, though. By the way, nice harass over at that base. Cure, though, handling it quite nicely as well.
We do have a bunch of Colossus coming out at this point, and he's actually starting to push in a little bit. That's a lot of liberation zones, though. He's got to be so careful.
Even more liberation zones set up here.
I think he needs to just make another Nexus somewhere else. Like, give this area up right now. This is way too much to break through.
He might be able to go around this with the Stalkers from behind. You can take out Liberators if you just get him at a different angle.
Gets that Marine dead. I mean, he's picking off some units, but this base is going to go down. He wants to be careful not to lose too much here. This is a dead area. He does not need to attack into that whatsoever. Okay, well, this is the time to start pushing forward.
He's actually going to go. Liberation zones have not been set up yet.
Well, the Stalkers have to target down all these Liberators as quickly as they possibly can. The anti-air here for Stork is almost completely gone. He's going to have to pull back.
Yeah, and that just goes to show you how strong Mass Liberators really are. So much damage dealt there.
And in fact, he's just going to use them to once again siege forward, and Stork has to pull back. He's spent all of his money right now on Stalkers.
Cure is not stopping now. He knows he's got Protoss into a very bad position. However, these Adepts over here have actually been pretty effective.
Yeah, 9 SCVs killed? That's awesome.
And that's actually the second little duo of Adepts that's done damage down there. So for a lot of that expansion wasn't being mined from. That may allow this game to balance out. However, supply overall does tell us that Cure just has a much stronger army.
Yeah, he really does. That engagement where Stork blinked forward the moment that the Liberators unsieged definitely didn't do it for him. The game was actually still pretty even at that point, but he lost way too much of his army.
He actually should not have attacked that.
No, he should not have.
He should have, if he was going to attack it at all, he should have hit from the side where the Liberators couldn't connect.
Yeah, or like the thing is you can't blink onto them because then you can't blink away.
Well said.
And the army kills you, and that's what happened. He lost all of his Stalkers. So, all right, we do actually have a couple Time Warps coming down, but I mean, none of this really matters. He just doesn't have the army anymore.
Yeah, and I think Terran just overwhelms him here and wins the game. And that does mean that game number 1 will be going to Cure. Well done, Cure.
Oh, he's a little bit shaky. Wow, a lot of adrenaline going through Cure right now, for sure. It was definitely a tough game after how all of his harassment early on did nothing.
Hey, man, I mean, let's think about it, right? everybody who plays Terran in the world looks up to Innovation, right?
Yeah.
Stork smashes Innovation. Cure just looks like the next victim in line. A lot of pressure here for Cure. You know, if he loses this, it only indicates that one of these old school guys is coming back and steamrolling him. And that was, by the way, a pretty close match overall. But yeah, definitely a lot of adrenaline, going through his system right now. Let's see if he can make it work in game number 2.
Well, the next 2 maps are going to be maps that, you get that free natural in the back of your base. So they definitely play a lot different from Laralac Crest. We'll see if Stork is more comfortable with that. But yeah, that was a pretty good game overall. It really does come down to Stork blinking forward to try to pick off Mass Liberator there. And,
he did a good job holding that position for as long as he did and still mining from it.
Yeah.
But he should not have, especially after it was destroyed, tried to attack it.
Yeah, no, you got to just keep poking and prodding and wait for Terran to make a mistake there.
Game number 2 has loaded up. Our map is Orbital Shipyard. In the bottom left in the blue.
Samsung Galaxy Star.
Coach Stork.
Right, Coach Stork.
That's right.
Damn right. In the upper right, in the red, he is.
Genial Green Wings. Cure.
Cure S. Cure Stork.
Note Stork checking around the map. Let's see if he just heads directly up there to scout the Terran. It does look like we have, oh my gosh, I remember that picture.
Yeah, that's a famous one.
Stork in the dinosaur costume. He's trying to touch that front part with his finger to make his phone light up again, but it wasn't quite working.
No, not quite. All right. Looks like standard openers for both. Not too surprised about that.
Right.
Cure, I don't think, wants to do a Super 1 base tech again. Like Stork's defense was way too strong in the early game.
He is getting gas again. But let's see. He does have enough minerals banked up. I guess he's just going to go ahead and get the CC right after that.
Reaper expand, pretty normal for the map, I would say. Just try to see if you can poke in and find out what Stork's tech will be. Someone like Stork, jeez. Lots of hearts there.
Yeah.
I like it more than that. If I had a sign, it would have at least
it
twice
would just
as many
only
hearts.
be hearts. It would not even be anything you could
There'd
read.
be no words.
Yeah.
But a picture's worth 1,000 words, so 1,000 hearts is 1,000 words.
Wow, look at you.
Look at me do math on air.
Yeah, you dangerous. We are going to have a little bit of a slow start here, guys. And that's partially due to the map. I mean, this map does basically, throw a easy pitch towards you getting a third base, or a second base, rather, quite quickly. You can't really blame the players for taking full advantage of that.
Certainly.
I don't believe we've really casted any games where people do not take a quick base here.
It's pretty darn rare.
There's just no reason not to do it.
As maybe in like a PvP, you can skip it for a little bit, but you're gonna take it pretty quickly no matter what. Now, Stork does grab a very quick robotics bay. When he played against Innovation here, he did a very safe build, utilizing like 4 or 5 observers, going into Blink Stalkers, taking a third base, that type of play. Does he go for something like that here, or does he go, I mentioned early on, like, one thing for Cure, I'd want him to be really ready for possible DT drops. It's really hot right now on this map.
For sure,
on Dust Towers.
The Reaper's going to come up here and get trapped. He has to back out now. Good zoning there by Stork. And yeah, I think you are correct about the DT drop possibility. That's become very popular. Normally when we think of Dark Templar builds, we tend to think of them as risky, like high risk, high reward, something you don't want to use as a staple build. But in Legacy, the way that the build orders are operating, you can actually have a completely normal DT opener game, no risks.
Yeah, pretty
really,
much, yeah.
And unless, of course, you lose the Warp Prism and the DTs or something. But as long as you just handle them correctly, you can have some great results.
Well, it looks like right now he's not going for a quick... the Twilight's coming up now, but this shouldn't be for quick Dark Templars. That boat is kind of already passed. It looks like it's more likely just going to be a 4 Adept Warp Prism attack here.
Very subtle little micro thing there with the Adepts. He was making sure that they were moving and not on an attack move. When he was getting ready to defend, he actually baited the Reaper in there and picked it off.
All right, now a couple gates being added, and the scan does see that. Do have that factory coming up, but right now the main story of Kier's build is that he has 3 Raxes and he's getting combat shields and stim right now. So we've seen a lot lately of Terrans, both against Zerg and against Protoss, going for some of these heavy bio early stim pushes to try to catch them off guard.
Okay, a lot of pressure on Stork right now. It's going to be much harder for him to actually come out of this if he has to go through the losers group, man. Much tougher. Here comes that Adept drop right now. Marines already ready. Good control, though, here.
It doesn't get too much done yet. There's just so many Marines.
Yeah,
but you know
there's nothing you can actually do with Adepts there.
This is a lot of scouting intel, and he's actually getting resonating glaives right now, which is definitely going to help out against these Marines. The one thing he has to be very careful about is this push that's coming out. Like, this is a lot of Marines, and if they have stim and combat shields, you have to take that extremely seriously.
Yeah, this can be a little bit scary here. The Adepts, you know, they're nowhere near as powerful as they were pre-patch. Oh my God!
Yeah,
that was close. You got to be careful there, man, because if you don't, you might not see the Marines at all, and they just go right over that and it dies, and that could cost you the game.
Oh, if he lost that prism now, I would say the game's over.
Okay.
And I would say that he's got to be very careful here.
Here we go!
Oh, he's got to get the force field on that ramp. Nice force field. This is going to run out his stim, so that's actually really good by Stork. And Resident Glaives is going to finish before the next hit could even possibly come.
Yeah, nice hold there.
Yeah.
We have the first medevacs coming out right now, going to be used to pick up these Marines. Terran might not be done with the pressure just yet here. And when you have this many Marines, I mean, stim is pretty scary. If Protoss misclicks anything, the Protoss army dies so fast. It's something that Terran can really use to punish Protoss overall.
It's definitely is. And look at this. He's got medevacs coming out now. He's got so many Marines with stim. This is actually really popular right now. We haven't really seen it in Code S, but like, for instance, this morning I actually played against this all morning. Like, every Terran seems to be doing stuff like this. And if he kills those rocks, he has 2 different areas he can attack in. He has medevacs for possible drops. This is some strong play.
We're seeing the Dark Shrine come in here, so DTs and Archons are definitely going to be an option. And Terran's unloading on 2 sides, hoping to get some really good connects here.
And look at this. Stork is actually a little bit out of position right now. He sent a ton of his units back.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man, this flank. Look at this. If he gets these Warpins, the Adepts, possibly grab those pylons right off, too, he might be able to just kill this base.
All right, he's coming down now. Can he actually box this in properly?
Well, the Adept's starting to do some work, but just carries him in the main base. Boost right up there. Stork in some real trouble here. A lot of probes have gone down, Tasteless.
Yeah, this is kind of scary. No harass just yet here for the Protoss of the Terran. He is beginning to thin this out, and that should be the end of this harass. But kind of scary to see Stork out of position there. He thought he had that Kier had telegraphed his movements in such a way that it was clear he was going to try to drop in the back. Stork ready to stop that dead in its tracks, but in fact it was a flank here, that actually really almost cost Stork the game there at that 3rd base.
Yeah, he really thought a drop was incoming, but it was just a massive Marine attack from 2 sides. So, I mean, really great moves by Kier. Stork is going to have to do something special here to come back right now.
Well, he does have these DTs over here, beginning to harass, taking out SCVs as many as he possibly can.
Well, in the meantime, we do have an attack coming in. 2 Liberators as well. He's going to be careful about that. Drop in his back as well.
It's not clear what Protoss actually has to defend. I'm only seeing these units. Yeah, and it doesn't look like he's doing anything to help the back of his base. The harass is okay, but I think that in the long run, Protoss is going to suffer more damage here.
Yeah, this is some really hard stuff to actually remove. Like, this little drop, it's such a pain that he has to go down there. And in the meantime, his 3rd base, I don't even know if he's going to be able to save this, really.
No, he's going to lose that. Oh, my God.
Wow.
Okay, Kier, well done. You did what Innovation could not do. Defeating Stork 2-0. Kier will now go on to the winner's match here against Curious.
Kier versus Curious. You can't spell Curious without Kier.
Yeah, you beat me to it. Okay, we see a pensive Stork right now. Let's see how the rest of this group goes. Who knows, man? Stork may have just been, for a little bit here in StarCraft 2, an anomaly. He won there, and maybe these pro gamers have adapted now.
Yeah, he definitely misread that second game. The first one we kind of already went over. He did a blink forward that really cost him the